Back when I was a dumb preschooler, my dad had a PS3, and this PS3 was pretty cool. We had all the classics like Family Game Night 4, Gran Turismo 5 Prologue, and my personal favorite of all, this little game called Split Second. Now, keep in mind I was around 5 when I first played this game, so all I saw was car go fast with cool explosions, and I thought this was the best game ever. But as the years went by and I added more games to my PS3 collection, there was one game that I always found myself going back to, one game that seemed to captivate me, no matter how much I played it, and that game was called Split Second. Split Second was released in 2010 by Disney, and although it was met with critical acclaim, the sales did not match that. It was originally planned to have a sequel, but Disney looked at this number and said, no. Now, at first glance, Split Second may just look like your typical arcade racer, and I think in a way this is what led to the game's commercial failure, because what makes this game so good is not that apparent at first glance. This game places you in a fictional TV show called, you'll never believe this, Split Second. Wow. The goal is to win your way to the top for a chance to race against a group called the Elite, which is basically just your average group of master drivers. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, why would I care what the story of a racing game is? But the TV show setting is the key factor in what makes this game so unique. You see, since this is a TV show, that means that all these tracks are just a set piece for said show. And when you have a fake city that no one actually lives in, it allows you to do things like this. The main gimmick of Split Second are these things called power plays. You build up energy by doing things like drifting, getting airtime, or simply blowing up other cars. And then once your energy bar is full, with the press of a button, this happens. The power play system is simple in design, but is so genius in all the ways it can be used. It forces you to always be on your toes, as you never know when that bridge you're driving towards is going to collapse. The power play system also adds a whole lot of strategy to the game. You have to decide, do I want to use my energy now on something small like this gas station, or save it up for something bigger like this route change? And speaking of route changes, another part of what makes Split Second so cool are its tracks that change with the press of a button. One lap you're driving through an airport, and the next you're driving through a parking garage that is under the same road that you drove on the lap prior. I mean, back in my PS3 days, I would just spend hours trying to find every route change this game has to offer. I don't know why, but I just find the concept of tracks that change every lap so cool. Now, before this video gets too long, I would also like to mention the other modes this game has to offer. Of course, you have your standard racing mode as well as your standard elimination mode, but everything else this game has is something I believe that is unique to Split Second. First of all, you have Demolition. Drive through the course as fast as you can while every explosion the course has to offer becomes your enemy. Then you got Survival, which is this really cool mode where you have to drive behind these trucks as they shoot cans at you. The blue ones knock your car around a bit, and the red ones are an instant kill. You gain points by driving past the trucks, and once you start building up combos, this mode can get pretty intense. Then you got not one, but 2 helicopter modes. The first one is Airstrike, which is basically the same as survival mode, but instead of cans, you're dodging missiles that are launched at you from the sky. Then you got Revenge, which is my personal favorite of the 2 helicopter modes. In Revenge, you still avoid missiles, but this time your goal is to build your energy bar in order to launch attacks back at the helicopter. I mean, just name another game where you are fighting a helicopter in a car. Now, if you couldn't tell already, Split Second is the perfect arcade racing game in my opinion. Even to this day, it has compelling gameplay, fun driving mechanics, and most important of all, it doesn't have this stupid Ryan cutout from Race with Ryan.